Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forged Lines Forever. Today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the most amazing Neuroxis map generator. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players, starting off with Team 1 in the north and ending with Team 2 in the south. Starting off with Team 1's Western player, and then going eastward, we have Ian Rust blending in with his environment. It is Nuke. He is a Sovereign for this match as a 1900. He is the highest rated player on Team 1 and tied for the highest rated overall. To his northeast, we have it in lightest red pink, Masmori. He is a Cybran as well. He is a 1300. To his east-ish, it is Clinch. He is a Cybran again for Team 1. He is a 1400 in Tropical Ocean Blue. To his northeast, we have in Chevy Crimson, it is Milf Hunter. He is a Cybran. Sorry, UEF for this match. I've been saying Cybran the past three players. He is a 1500. To his south in Snow White is Razana, another Cybran for Team 1. He is a 1500. And rounding out Team 1's lineup as an Aeon, it is Chap. He is in Batman Gray as a 1300. So for Team 1's side of the map, there are 4 Cybrans, 1 UEF, 1 Aeon, no Seraphim Tech for Team 1. Starting off with Team 2's Eastern player, then going westward this time, we have in Stitch Blue Team 2's Lincoln. He is a Seraphim for this match and also a 1900, the highest rated player on Team 2, and tied with Luca for the highest rated player overall. And he is the one and only Seraphim of the match. To his west, we have in Forest Green, it is Eric for short. He is a Cybran. He is a 1200. In Pac-Man Yellow, to his west is the Bali Clarion. He is a UEF as a 1500. To his southwest, we have in Regal Purple Kinder 5129 as a UEF. He is a 1600. And next door to him, we have Way She Goes, a Cybran as a 1700. And last but not least for Team 2, it is Freedom Cobra in Royal Blue as an Aeon as an 1100. So for Team 2's side of the map, they have one of each of the factions at a minimum with 2 Cybrans and 2 UEF. So again, 2 Cybran, 1 Aeon, 1 Seraphim, 2 UEF. Yep, that definitely makes sense. And for these 12 players on the map, let's take a look at the reclaim situation they have to scoop up. Currently sitting at 36,000 mass in reclaim, which makes it 3,000 mass per player. And there is a lot of mass everywhere. There's, of course, in most maps, a decent portion of it in the middle, but there's a lot on the way there. And there's actually a tiny bit of mass in the northeast and southwestern corners that will have to be grabbed by some teleporting or transported units. Taking a look at the mech count here, we did see that there was essentially a starting location, possibly for another player for each team. So maybe they were looking at a 7v7, didn't get enough players or whatever the case may be, so they just stuck with a 6v6, which does give another chunk of mass income to, looks like, the rear guard air slot players for both teams. On the front lines, there's 1-2 Trimax positions with a quad in the east and the west for Team 2, and then there's a lot of mechs kind of dotted in a nice little arc, snake pattern thingamajig, and then a couple of mechs, of course, dotted around the eastern side as well. So there is actually somewhat worth it to go for the middle of the map and either deny mexes for their opponents or at least try to claim as much as they can. We do see it looks like it's going to be 1 player in each rough lane from Team 1. That's going to be Luker, Mass, Milf, and then Chap. For Team 2, we have seen Freedom Cobra go west, but I would not be surprised if he continues his trajectory north. And then we have Way She Goes, Bali Clarion, and it looks like he might just be kind of a floater between the Midwest and the Mid-East. And then on the east, we see Lincoln, and next door to him is Eric. Guns have been started here for both teams. Looks like Eric will finish his first, and then Clinch will be right after that. T2 upgrade started for Bali Clarion. We have a couple of scouts inbound from Razana on the eastern side, and they're going to come up and assist the moles and other forces from Masmori. And Masmori is also nearby, near Clinch as well, so it looks like it's going to be 2 on the Midwest, which might indicate that Bali Clarion might have to send his comms westward to be able to assist his teammate up Way She Goes. That gun upgrade is actually done for Clinch with the assistance of his teammate of Masmori. Actually finishes it before Eric. I don't know one way or the other how to, if it's Erica or Eric. It's just the name is all one word, so forgive me. Apologies ahead of time. Gun started for Mas Mori in the west. Again, looks like getting no assistance from his teammate, but I would be surprised if he sends an engineer or two. He's going to get some engineer support, it looks like. Maybe, possibly, maybe. And then Mori's going to get a lot of those Mantis to help with the upgrade. Gun started in the west for Luker. No upgrades as of yet. T2 air facility very far forward for Lenkin. He doesn't go for land. He goes for air, surprisingly enough. And it's not even in the position where you would think it would be. It's very far forward. We do see T2 air is now online for Team 2 and Team 1's air player. No T3 upgrade has been scheduled yet. Gun started for Razana. And no other upgrade. Oh, nope. Speed upgrade in the west too for Freedom Cobra. And stealth started for Lucas. Wants to be a little bit of a sneaky boy with his Cybran commander. And with 4 players going Cybran for Team 1, one of them has to go for Telemazer at some point. I mean, the percentage chance that it happens in a game with a Cybran isn't super high, but it's high enough. And with a team with 4 out of the 6 of them, I mean, you gotta at least think about it at some point, especially with Team 2 having 2 Cybrans as well. Somebody's gonna go for it at some point. Clinch down into the yellow, fended off by Way She Goes. Way She Goes is being bombarded by him and by Mas Mori moving in their comms. Bali Clarion has shifted eastward, not went westward the way that I thought he went, but looks like he's going to send his forces in at the minimum and possibly maybe isolate Mas Mori on the front lines. T2PD being spammed up by Way She Goes. She has Way T2P, not T2PD, T2 Engineering Suite on board. Does have a couple of tickle cannons, and will again keep Mas Mori at bay. Clinch, of course, is down in the now close to low middles, or middles-ish, of the yellow. And Luku going for Nano on that side of the map. It's just Clinch and Mas Mori with a couple of forces from Mas Mori, but those tickle cannons are really eating into those hit points for Clinch and dropping into the red, sub 2,000 hit points. Ooh, will he get away? 1,000 hit points. Ooh, looks like he will get away, but he's going to be out of the fight for a while until he gets that Nano upgrade online. In the east, we see a combined push from Bali and Eric. Eric sending in his comm, and Bali sending in his forces while he goes for a gun damage and range upgrade. We do see not T1, but 2 Star Veterans on board. Mori's comm to keep him alive a little bit longer. And a lot of forces inbound from Luker. There hasn't really been anything deployed by Freedom, and that has given Luker a little bit more mass on the front lines. And will actually take out a lot of mexes here on this western side for Freedom. He's sending his forces back to retreat and group up and attack in one solid push. Forces in the west inbound from Chap, pushing in this kind of alleyway here. Nano repair started for Eric. He has stealth on board. Lenkin now has gun on board. And we do see T3 air is almost done for Team 2 and is done for Team 1. So we have at least 1 air player for each team with a second air player for Team 2. Lenkin using his comm and T2 engineering, actually doesn't have T2 engineering, so keeping his T2 engineers on the front line. Really going to help out air a lot with that move. Land is going to be a little bit of a concern, but he's going to try to keep it at least backed up from Team 1 as long as possible. Stealth started for Clinch. He has to go for stealth, then go for Nano. That is the one downside of being a Cybran, is you can't just go straight for the Nano. But to be fair, the Aliens don't even have Nano. So there's that. You do see that group of forces now swinging westward, and they've taken out a chunk of those Team 1 mexes for Freedom. Really just sniped that eco quite devastatingly. It hasn't really lost a lot of forces as well, so it's a great grab there. 1v2 ATM for Razana saying, hey, I need some assistance. And at the moment, I'm kind of stuck. He has gun and stealth. Bali has gun T2. Eric has gun and Nano, so out DPS'd for sure and out regioned as well. If Razana had these Nano upgrade, it'd be a little bit different, but still. We do see that Luker's pushing in with his gun and Nano Commander. Freedom has gun speed / range on board. Stealth started as well for Mori, so they're both going for Nano. Clinch does have Nano on board. He's back up almost into the green. Speaking of green, Razana being pushed back by Eric's forces, and now Bali's pushing in down the middle here. There's really nothing to oppose this push. which will give a lot of damage done to Team 1's kind of secondary line. In the east, Chap still building up T3 forces and getting transported forces over. A nice little UEF engineer, probably for Ravagers, I would assume, which would actually be a nice thing to at least establish a foothold and to keep Team 2 at bay. The forces from Eric break off from the main assault on the comm and go around just to avoid him while Eric comes in. Oh, it's nothing too damaging. Eric does have nano. There's a lot of T1s. There's a Asylum in there, but that's nothing worrisome for him to worry about. We do see that Luker is heavily far forward. 13 minutes on the clock. That isn't a snipe territory yet. We need about at least 7 or 8 more minutes to really be in that territory. But has to be very careful. Freedom dropping into the yellow. Large group of Blazes still inbound from Freedom. There's a lot of them here. And yeah, they don't have a lot of DPS on board, but man, there's a lot of them, and they can move pretty quick. And Razana says, hey, can you do something about this? And that's definitely going to be something that needs to be done about that at some point. We do see, again, kind of a weird situation where it looks like with the opportunity that has presented itself from Bali pushing in, Team 1 is going to do the exact same thing against Team 2, kind of create this almost will they, won't they scenario. Luker still pushing back against Freedom, not relenting. Lots of Blazes are going down, lots of veterancy for him, almost 2 on board for him. That's almost 20% more hit points. Looks like Bali's going to hold position. The comms are going to cut off the comms escape, and the forces are going to just throw themselves at their opponents. We do see a couple of spam forces to try to just slow this push in. It's all T1 from the looks of it. There are a couple of PD in the mix, and there's also a couple of pillars coming in to intercept. So nothing really damaging is going to happen in the middle. Looks like in the north, though, Bali getting some PD online against Rosanna. Again, no nano on board. That PD emplacement goes down, and Bali might just go for the kill here. It'll drop him into the now kind of roughly mid-yellows. We do see that both Clinch and Mas Mori trying to cut off Bali's escape, but it looks like it's just going to be a rundown at this point. And we do see some bricks inbound from Rosanna to assist. Another overcharge into Rosanna's comm. This might be the first departure of the game, sub 2500, and there he goes. I think he actually, did he control K there? He did control K there. Didn't want to keep himself alive for much longer. I think Team 2 has noticed, or Bali has noticed, Team 1's intentions. Yep, they see what's going on, and he's playing immediate. That's Team 1. That's Team 2. No, he doesn't know, but he sees a lot of forces inbound, so he just makes that assumption. Comms are now shooting at him. It is Clinch with nano and gun. Masmori with nano and gun. ASF's, actually no, those are interceptors. Never mind. Interceptors over the top. I'm going to get some view. If Eric comes and assists, this might force Clinch back. There are some loyalists inbound. EMP weapons are nice, but aren't effective against commanders. Looks like Mori having some pathfinding issues, kind of struggling with that. And then Eric is going to cover for his teammate. And Clinch is going to continue to push and push. At this point, I don't know if it's worth it. Clinch is really after that comm. And Eric actually going to take a bulk of the damage from those loyalists. Might actually die from this. Not a great scenario to be in. Team 2 might lose 2 players back to back here. And in the west, I want to make sure nothing's going on for Luker. Nope, he's falling back a little bit. In the east, push back against Lincoln, which he's falling back. Eric is continuing to retreat. Overcharge kills off that loyalist. Eric at 4-star veterancy now. Huge boost in hit points. Is pretty much keeping him mostly alive at this point. Bali Clarion falling back at 4-star veterancy as well. Eric might go down here, and if Clinch takes enough damage, he might die from this. There goes Eric's comm. Clinch is now down to 3,100. He'll take a kill and get out of there. Bali going to get on a transport, and now he's going to get out of there. Nice move there. He's like, I probably could stay there, but I'm not going to risk it. And now Team 2 is now tied up with Team 1 at 5 players remaining for each team. Great teamwork there on the eastern or mid-eastern side here for Team 1. We do see a couple of Team 1 bombers over the top, as well as some T3 ones, but looks like those ones already got shot down. They're going after Chap's commander. He's fallen into the yellows. He did have his shield on board, which actually saved him because he's now below that. Ooh, he's taking lots of hits here. Fallen below 1,700 hit points. There's not really a lot of bombers inbound. Oh, there's a Natha inbound and a couple of other Team 1s. He needs to get under shield coverage immediately. That's going to hurt. Drops him to, 150 hit points remaining. He needs to stay under that shield coverage for a while now. A couple of asylums will try to save him, but oh, there he goes. It doesn't matter. Team 1 suffers another loss, and that is Chap defeated by Lenkin. There's now a 5v4 in favor of Team 2. Laser, even before 20 minutes has been started by Way She Goes. She's probably going to go for, I would assume, cloaking, being that far forward. And the only problem with the cloaking laser move is it has to be deployed outside of Omni range, because Omni can see through the cloaking. So if you take out all of, let's say, Team 1's, for example, Omnis, then yes, it'd be a great move. Then spy planes or whatnot would have to be deployed to be able to see the comm. But it's one of those I think it's more of a defensive play more than anything else, because you can have an attacking Colossus, attacking whatever experimental. You could sit in your base, hang out, if Omni isn't in range of that position, and then just laser everything to death and call it a day. Attacking with it is a completely different story. A couple of bricks inbound from Way She Goes northward to again try to just slow Team 1's aggression. We do see Luca has been pushed back by Freedom's forces. He has the advanced range upgrade on board, making point that the comms over here by Eric. And with, of course, 2 players in air, it's really going to start shifting the tides of warfare in terms of ASF counts in favor of Team 2. If he decides to go down that route, I should say. He's producing T3, T2, Team 1 bombers, or fighter bombers in the case of the T2 tech. And that's really helped him take out one player on Team 1. It might be able to take out somebody else. But, of course, as the game goes on, players on Team 1 are going to be like, well, Team 2's pumping out a lot of bombers. We'll just pump out a lot of anti-air, which will eventually nullify that advantage. It's like when one team goes for full gunships, and you go, well, we'll go for AA, especially T2 flak, and call it a day. There's really no, not counter to it, but it's just not really going to work if you don't do that, because it's either Team 2, in that example, will continue to build gunships and use the gunships, and you'll be run over, or you build AA and you counter that advantage, not necessarily immediately, but it hinders Team 2's advancement quite severely. So it's just, you're almost forced into doing it, and if Team 2 in that example is smart enough, they'll switch to a different tactic that they're not prepared for, and then they can use that. And it's this whole game of like attack, respond, attack, counteract, counter move, all that stuff. Frontline mechs is taken out after my little tirade about tactics and strategy and whatnot. In the east, again, it looks like T2 artillery has been built, so they're going to slowly eat away the units holding position here. A decent amount of AA, Team 1, T2, a couple of sniper bots, and a lot of harbingers, and keeping that there long term, not really a great idea. Bali making another play down the eastern side, or mid-east at least. Mursana saying, hey, they're pushing in a couple of Stingers, not my favorite gunship by any means, but, you know, they're cheap and they can get the job done if they're in larger numbers. Clinch is going to be perfectly fine here. We do see that Moy is retreating back to base, and it looks like Clinch is just going to hold position for now. Luker has sent all of his forces eastward, at least to the Midwest position, going to probably break either straight through the middle or go straight through the Way She Goes' position. She has nano and laser, so again, is not cloaked, but that's a deadly weapon on board that thing. The shields are down, but not completely out. Clinch is going to be able to force Bali's forces back. And it's just going to create, again, a nice little buffer zone for Team 2. Attack has commenced on this base once again. And it looks like they will grab that. T2 will go down. ARAS started for Lenkin. We're going to get a whole bunch of more mass in those coffers. Strap bomb over the top will take out a couple more units. Of course, Team 1 will be now aware that Team 2 has more strap bombers, so that is going to be a thing over there. We do see the attack in the west has commenced. Way She Goes is calm. Is definitely going to get some veterancy from this. A huge amount of support from Freedom to assist. A couple of T3s as well mixed in there. And this attack from Luker is not going to go the way he wants, because that's a lot of dead bricks. Lots and lots of dead bricks. But Team 1 is now aware of the laser comm, though. I love the call-outs from Chap. He's one of the 2 players on Team 1 that have been killed off, so he's providing a lot of saying, hey, there's a thing over here. Hey, there's a thing over here. Hey, there's a thing over here. That's really just keeping Team 1 aware of, oh, yeah, there is a laser comm. Oh, yeah, there's additional strap bombers in the air. Like, it's just stuff to be aware of that if they weren't aware of could be detrimental and be too late to counteract. The way she goes has the ability to go for teleportation, laser commander, because half the upgrades are already done for that. But now that Team 1 knows about that, it's probably going to be a little bit more PD investment for protecting comms. So again, it's just move, counter move, that sort of thing. A couple of bricks down the western side here, but that's going to be countered quite easily, if I can speak correctly, by its freedom on that western side. And at 20, almost 4 minutes on the clock, Team 1 has lost 2 players, being Chap and Rosanna. Team 2 has lost Eric. It is a 4v5 in favor of Team 2. Team 1, Team 2, roughly the same ecos. Team 2 is slightly ahead, but by that margin, it's nothing really to write home about. And in terms of map control, it's kind of about even. It's definitely obviously fluid in the middle, as most games are. But I think Team 1 may have a slight advantage. They're pushing more forces in. So that makes me think they just have a slight advantage in map control. Like 51% to 49%, I think, would be a good estimation there. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game. Of course, if you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you so much for watching. At least to the midpoint in the video, roughly. Hopefully you enjoyed the rest of it. Couple of triads going to get ran over by some bricks. Not a good day for them. That brick might actually die to some crossfire there. Oh, a couple more hits. Nope. Brick does not go down. A couple of forces inbound from the east. There are more bricks and Percy's added, which will definitely assist with keeping Team 1's Luker at bay. He's producing a lot of ground forces, which makes me think maybe he's going to go for not Colossus, Crab or Monkey or something at some point. It is 25 minutes. Experimentals are definitely going to be on people's minds, which one person's mind has a nuke, and it's already loaded. Is it going to fire? It's going to fire. There it is. 25 minutes on the clock. And what recipient is going to receive that? Ooh, Kinder. Ooh, the nuke. The nuke might get shot down. That's a lot of support here. And it's going essentially for part of the air grid and the SMD. Ooh, that's going to be close. We see some forces inbound for clinch down the middle as well. Maybe transferred over from Luker. Ooh, it's going to be close. Oh, 99%, 100% fires, shoots the... Oh, what is this? Oh! Oh, that was not great. Had that nuke landed, Kinder would be upset. I would be upset if I was Kinder. That'd be like I have an SMD and it was loaded at the last second and it fired and it missed. That would have been rough. But Team 2 does shoot down the nuke at the end of the day, so definitely if they would want to go, wait, did you nuke the one place where they had SMD, says Rosanna. Well, to be fair, there is an SMD over here that's not loaded. And then Hunter says, my bad. Possibly due to... No. Team 1 was aware of the SMDs, so... All that's going to do is prompt Team 2 to build and load more SMDs. There's already one built by Way She Goes. There is one built for Lincoln. So most of the players in the back line do have either SMDs nearby or are building their own. A couple of gunships inbound going after the Colossus. The Monkey Lord for Team 2 has been knocked out. Gunships will be also knocked out by MILF Hunter's ASF. And this combined attack from Luker and Clinch will probably either steamroll this position for Lincoln or shift completely southward. There is a Monkey Lord now online. The Colossus is heavily wounded. There could be an opportunity to kill that thing off. I do love the placement of the Omni from Team 2. It's pretty darn close to the middle. It's actually on a lower plane. Yes, shots can be fired, but it's a little bit more annoying for bombers to come in, essentially. Gunships are inbound. They are broadswords. Is there any flak or T3 in the mix? No. There's only the ASFs waiting to engage. There's, of course, 2 hordes of them. Satellite over the top for MILF Hunter, and that's going to spot the everything that Team 1 wants to know about, and Sat has been commented by Team 2. So the dead players in the game doing very, very well of assisting their alive teammates, of saying, hey, there's some stuff to be worried about. And I love this move from Luka. He's like, okay, there's some gunships. They are going to kill off my Colossus if I don't get it to retreat, and there's a Monkey Lord inbound. So we're just going to pull back and try to get to friendlier territory so that that mass does not go to Team 2. Clinch pushing in the Midwest, and Freedom still holding position over there. Eco staying still relatively lockstep with one another. It looks like Team 1's barely in the lead now, but again, nothing to really write home about at this point. Monkey Lord slowly catching up to that Colossus. And all the gunships are going after the T3 units, not going after the Colossus. Well, okay, I say that. Now they're actually going to go after the Colossus. Monkey Lord's going to mop up the rest of those forces, going to load a bit of efficiency under its belt. T2 artillery landing or trying to land on that Colossus. Colossus trying to link up with the remaining forces and a newly minted Colossus coming in from Luker. I don't think it's going to make it home. Chicken is inbound, so there's a monkey and a chicken. And that Colossus will be outnumbered at least at a minimum. That fight will go to Team 2 if they engage at the same time and together. So that Colossus looks like he's going to just retreat and go home. Eric making a comment about an ACU. Milf Hunter's hanging out over here. Second nuke is almost loaded. And he, of course, has a satellite, so he's going to try to take out SMDs. That would be the thing to target. Looks like most of the SMDs have now been shielded at this point, so nothing too crazy there. Mass assassinations are underway. Shields are going down. Not a great day to be a mass extractor with ring to T2 mass fabs. Not a great day. Well, actually, that's inbound from Way She Goes. So Way She Goes is actually helping to assist protecting the eco for Kinder. That's something I hardly ever see. Usually it's the player's eco, the player who has the eco protecting his stuff, but there's some teamwork going down here. I mean, and it's different teamwork too. It's not, you know, normal teamwork transferring over units, that sort of thing. It's a let me help you shield your base kind of thing. That's usually only happens with game enders, with artillery, that sort of thing. But lovely move there. And in the west, shield has been started for Freedom's commander. Is there another Colossus or other experimental? No. Looks like secondary air player now online from Mas Mori. Seeing the threat in air from Team 2. We do see that Colossus still running around. Monkey Lord just going to full send it down the middle, because why not? Gunships inbound. Or actually retreating, I should say, from Kinder. And those gunships are going to cover a decent amount of distance before the ASF catch up to them. And they lose one of their own, but nothing too damaging. Cloaking's actually canceled by Way She Goes. Looks like she wants to get underneath some shield coverage before she does that. That's probably a smart move, given the fact there is a laser nonsense over top. And he does, and she does see it. So that's definitely a good thing there. We'll admire that. ASF stacking up above the Monkey Lord from Bali. Don't know where he's going with it, and I feel like at this point it's probably just best to keep it at base, which I think he hears me through the ether and goes, you know what, that's probably a good idea. Third and fourth Colossus now done for Luker, and he's going to probably send it over on the eastern side with that remaining T3 force. There's one chicken, and that's not going to stop 3 Colossi by any means. Second chicken is almost done. At this point, you need to pull that chicken back and bring it back to this position. He'll lose his secondary SMD, but he wants to keep his primary one. Of course, that's where his air grid is. Again, weird spot to put an air grid, but hey, who am I to judge a 1900? Reclaim your pigeon or your grid is messed up. Yeah, there is a counter satellite online for Kinders. Like anything you can do, I can do as well. Not shielded though, and second satellite has been started. SMD is loaded, of course. That chicken did fall back to PD somewhat protection, who actually just full send it and try to hug the Colossus and try to take out as many hit points with the Ion Storm. And that Colossus is now dead. The chicken is now dead, so it's a 1-for-1 trade. Second chicken inbound. Lots of PD opening up on that second Colossus. Ion Storm will activate, really disrupt the frontline efforts, attack efforts, I should say, from Team 1's Luker. And all of that Ion Storm, most of it at least, going into the second Colossus. Lots of PD. They're focusing the Colossus first. Lincoln's thinking about just killing off the Colossi, getting the mass on his side of the map. Airfight happens over the top. It's a huge one. 30 minutes on the clock, and it looks like Team 1 will claim air victory. There was not enough for Team 2 to keep Team 1 at bay, but the Colossus is down. The chicken is still alive. Maybe. It's going to die. Lots of reclaim to grab. Team 1 and Team 2 need to go for that immediately. There's still a couple of laser weapons on board. Iron Storm will activate, help deal with the rest of those Harbingers. Actually, those are artillery, not laser weapons. It looks like there's another chicken soon to be built, and there's a couple of Team 1 bombers. No engineers on station yet, so it's going to be a fight for that. A little bit of reclaim. And that's actually where Chap died, pretty much right north of that position. In the west, Crab pushes in a little bit, takes out Way She Goes' frontline position. Cloaking restarted for her. She's at 3-star veterancy as well, and Crab is on the way for her also. Second satellite is done. Going for artillery next, and a lovely job there. Going for shields first. And Rosanna's saying this is a boring map. I wouldn't say this is a boring map. I mean, you know, it just depends on what tactics everybody else uses. That's really what determines if it's a boring map or not. Settins can be a boring map, and that's a really popular map. So, I don't know. Yeah, 100,000 reclaim. Yep, and it's going to go to Team 2 because it's right on their doorstep. That is the downside with attacking. If you don't keep what you or try to take, it's not a good day for reclaim. 230,000, so about half of it will go to Lincoln. Either that's going to go to an experimental, or to go for more ASF, or to go for more chickens, which is just more the experimentals at that point. Looks like a two-pronged attack. Inbound Luker attacking the west, and Clinch attacking the midwest. Looks like most of those forces for Way She Goes is going to take out the Crab, and then they're going to shift over to this group. Cloaking will be canceled once again. It's obviously unfortunate. Definitely would have been useful for this fight. There's no Omni in range. Crab is now down, and the rest of those brick forces will be wiped out. And of course those engineers building PD back there. Cobra underneath a lot of fire has the advanced range upgrade on board with speed. Doesn't have any sort of shield upgrade, and probably wishing he definitely did have that. And this might just be a kill here for Team 1, dropping it to a 4v4. That's a lot of bricks inbound. Crab immediately diverted over there. Not Way She Goes, but Freedom Cobra is not looking too great. Oh, yeah, 4,000 hit points and falling. They're not focusing on him. Trying to ignore him the best that they can. Overcharge kills off a couple more bricks. And another veterancy, back up to 7,000 hit points. Now the bricks target the comm, and the comm gets instantly deleted by those bricks. It is now a 4v4 game tied up. Kill NGs with satellite, says Chap. They're building a monkey. That actually is an interesting tactic. Usually we don't see that satellite going for NGs, but you know, if they're building a monkey to try to deter the brick force, that's actually a good way to do that, to be fair. Crab now done here for Volley. He's going for his own artillery piece, wish he would come assist this one, but this one is actually over half done, to be fair, so you know, there's that to consider. Satellites took out a couple of facilities for Team 1, but nothing too damaging. Another satellite online, this time for Poly. So there's 3 satellites online for Team 2, and looks like mass FAF farming to the west for Luker. Nothing too crazy yet out of Team 1. Colossus, maybe we'll see an experimental or artillery installation or something from Team 1, maybe. Fat Boy, a second of them pushing. Colossus trying to stop the reclaiming efforts of Team 2, which they actually will do that. Lot of PD, lots of artillery being built. And it looks like it's just going to be a bombardment fiesta going down. Not a lot of T2 artillery was built. So that Fat Boy conglomeration over there will definitely be useful. And then just more experimentals adding to the pile on that side of the map. That's dangerous amount of mass. That's game enders worth of mass almost over there. But definitely Team 2, if they had a nuke, I would just nuke the mass at that point and knock out most of it, because it's not worth Team 1 getting that. Split, says Eric. And it looks like a lot of Team 1 bombers over top going after all those harbingers. Luker's western position has started to collapse. Looks like that last push with bricks was pretty much all he had on that side. Teleporter started for Mori. I'm assuming, yep, Laser is on board. We are going to see Telemazo. Chicken gets into the Fat Boys. Ooh, nice double kill there by Team 2's Lincoln. Comes in very stealthily, goes, hey, I have a surprise. PD mostly been taken out. And that chicken will die, but the point is not to kill everything from Team 1, but to stop the incoming aggression from Team 1, at least to halt it at a minimum. Second chicken trying to be spammed up. Crab being diverted over from Bali's forces to help assist. That'll keep a little bit more pressure off of Team 2. T3 started for Lincoln. He has Nano, T3, and ARAS. So definitely a hefty commander. Artillery is now online. Fat Boy spam online for Kinder. Probably trying to help the eastern side is probably what it's at. The western side, Monkey goes down. Crab pretty much fine, but there is a lot of bricks, so there's no for sure win there one way or the other. Harbinger's getting into Luker's original base, but it looks like his PD is definitely on point. And Satellite's going after the nuke, and they take it out. Nice grab there. That's got to hurt. Don't know if it was loaded or not, but I would assume that it either was close to be loading or did have at least one missile loaded. Looks like the aggression is actually shifting. It's going westward this time, not full south. It's trying to meet up in this position, it looks like. Gunship starting to stack up for Bali as well. He has his own T3 air facility. His artillery is almost done. And Fatboy Spam is almost done as well, not almost done, but it's on the way here for Team 2. Nuke now says Chap. Well, see, you say that, but there's no nuke. So that's not going to work. But Teleporter has been started on Mori's comm. He's being shot at by some bricks from way she goes, and he actually moves and has to restart the Teleporter upgrade. There's actually a couple of Harbingers to the north. They're trying to take out a couple of engineers trying to support that facility there. Shield it from the lasers in the sky. Team 1's MILF just going full spam with Fat Boys to the north. And with the chicken and crab allegiance going on. Lots of Team 1 spam, both engineers and Lobos and the whatnot. That's a lot of kills there for that chicken. Junior builds another experimental. It's another Fat Boy. Gonna build another one. Looks like he sent his first one westward, maybe? No, I don't see it over there. Weird. Thought he built one already, but maybe not. Second artillery is done. Again, don't like that it's next to a P-Gen, but it's at least underneath shield coverage, which is something. Grab trying to keep the 3 Colossus at bay. This one shouldn't even be brought to the front lines. It's going to just be a 3-shot distraction at that point. Engineers trying to hastily reclaim everything. Reclaim situation. Team 2 is actually still in the lead for reclaim, but that might shift as Team 1 starts to encroach on Team 2's territory. It looks like the rest of that threat from the ground forces has been dissipated, but the air grid is slowly being eaten away. Engineers trying to hastily build shields, but all of the engineers being targeted by those satellites from Kinder. Nice move there. You don't have engineers, you can't build anything, can't defend, can't really do much. Chicken just going to sacrifice himself. I love this play from Lincoln. He knows that it's not going to win a DPS battle, so send the chicken in, do as much damage with the Ion Storm, and of course it throws off the other Colossus who try to get out of range, buying a little bit more time for engineers and other things to build and shields to charge back up, another chicken to be deployed. I love that tactic. Unfortunately, though, that Fat Boy, if it gets noticed by that chicken, that's a dead Fat Boy. So, and it's pushing in. There's another Colossus here. So Team 2 might do the exact same play here. Move up, says Eric, that Crab is going to win with the assistance from the Monkey Lord. Gunships are inbound, though. That's not going to help either of those experimentals. Looks like artillery is targeting this position. Maybe there was a facility started here. Maybe not for artillery's sake. But the Colossus is down. The chicken's about to go down. The crab is receiving a lot of damage. That Colossus is now going to fall. That chicken is dead. And it looks like no more chickens coming online for Lincoln. He still does not have T3 land tech, which is just so surprising. He just wants to win with no land. It could be just a challenge for him, kind of like what I did for my campaign videos. Oh, Ion Storm's going to help that Colossus. That's so much dead mass. Dead mass. So much mass over here. There are engineers from MILF also coming to reclaim up that chunky mass. Another artillery done for Team 2. It's way she goes. So each player, at least the middle players for Team 2, each have an artillery piece. 2 of them have satellites. And another one's going to have a third one. And that Fat Boy pressure might be enough to kick Lincoln out. His air grid is being hit. The shields are going down. It's not a good day to be a P-Gen over there. But 1, 2, 3 Fat Boys. That's where they were stacking up, was back over here. Fat Boy can't actually target that one, at least fully with its cannon, so not as useful. Novak's inbound, says Milf Hunter. Or, I mean, yeah, there's 4 of them almost for Team 2, and Team 1 has none. So it's definitely a mismatch there. Game Ender would definitely help Team 1 at this point. It doesn't even matter what it is. Well, maybe not Scathis. Maybe. But everything else would definitely help. In the east, PD just ripping apart Colossi laser weapons on full display here from the Seraphim faction. And that Colossus is losing thousands and thousands. Gunships inbound from Bali to assist. And it's just going to be a slow demise. Fat Boys pushing in. They're actually now gifted over to Lenkin. Lenkin's going to push those in. But a bubble shield, T3 SACU on the front lines. We hardly get to see these things. 52,000 hit points on board that. Nasty amount of hit points. Colossus is down. Second one, or actually new one, whatever number this is. It is newly minted off the front lines, off the assembly line. Fat Boy 3 versus 1. That's only going to go one way, of course. There's another Fat Boy coming online. The not SMD, but the SACU goes down. Artillery raining in at, looks like, Mass Mori's position. Milf Hunter is essentially knocked out of air, so Team 2 de facto has air. Team 2's Bali has gone for a nuke and is almost done loading that. He's now shifting most of that into a crab now. T3 started. Tactical Billy Nuke started for Kinder. Second artillery has been started. Third satellite online. Bug has almost been done for Way She Goes. Team 2 has a lot about ready to tick over into the green and ready to go. Colossus, though, that's not going to help anybody by any means. Fat Boy might just donate itself over to slow down that Fat Boy. Not Fat Boy, but Colossus from Team 1. We do see two of the Fat Boys have been knocked out for Lincoln. The third one's about to go down. Is it going to be a trade? It's going to be close. No, it's not going to be a trade. We do see some ASF coming in to assist. Gunships are inbound. Lincoln, apologies there, my friend, but I think you're going to be the target of a gunship Colossus nonsense. And there he goes. Lincoln is down. It is a 2-player death for both sides of the map. The nuke is about to load, and T3AA being spammed up to deal with the gunships. The gunships shifting southward. They could easily rush that nuke. Will Team 2 get the nuke off in time? Looks like the attack factor is going to be on the artillery and the everything else. Those gunships are going to be shoot away from that. Colossus does go down. Fat Boy still online, just barely. The nuke, oh, it's got to fire immediately. Got to already have a target in mind. It will not last much longer. I think, yeah, that might be a target. Luke is in this space. Milf Hunter's in this space. There's no SMD nearby. That could be a great 2-for-1 combo. Got to launch that nuke immediately. The nuke is loaded. Volley, what are you waiting for? Launch it. Oh, it's close to... Oh, the Fat Boys are starting to retreat, maybe, but there's a Colossus coming from the north. That is going to be a dead nuke. Team 1 knows about it. They're going to go for it. You got to launch it. Yeah, like the pings are going down. Either it's launch it, attack it, something. Another air fight, but Team 1's still winning them. Oh, it's going to be devastating if that nuke doesn't get launched. Artillery still raining in from Team 2. And there's 3 satellites over the top going after the shields. Nuke is outbound. There it is. Of course, when I go away from it is when it launches. And that was right before those Colossi come in. They could have gone for, nuke defense, but... Oh, actually, that might have been the better play because there's 2 Fat Boys inbound, and there's 2 Fat Boys over here, and 3 Colossus inbound. Team 2 does not have adequate land defenses to deal with this push. It looks like both the comms are moving, or at least Luker is. And that nuke is going straight for them. Oh, that's not great. Luker probably will get out of range. I'm going to have to split things because there's stuff going on both sides of the map. Billy Nuke inbound to assist. Here comes the nuke. It'll kill off Milf Hunter, and then they'll target Luker with the satellites. That'll be a 2-for-1 there, pretty much. Milf Hunter, oh, he doesn't control K. He dies by being next to P-gens, essentially. There goes Luker. And here comes the destruction of this base. This will slow down the aggression a tiny bit from both these players because transfer of units will be gifted over to somebody else. Or, yeah, units will be transferred over to somebody else so they stop moving very slowly or very shortly. But satellite is going to go down. The nuke has taken out a ton of stuff. Now it's just going to be assassination game. They'll go after clinch comm. Essentially, it's how fast can one team kill the other one at this point. Land versus air. Volley Clarion, he is under fire from the... Oh, Oilers, he gets underneath shield coverage, but no, he doesn't! I thought he did, but he was probably barely exposed. Team 2 loses a player. It's now a 2v3. This thing is kicking off. Well, it's been kicking off, but it's continuing to kick off. Clinch is under control of everything on the eastern side, and they're going after Clinch's comm. We have a bug over the top, not shooting anything. Very weird. Why isn't he firing? Is there like a glitch happening or something? Because that should definitely be shooting. What is going on? Oh, anyway. In the south, Fat Boy, 3 Colossus Crab, tons of PD being built. Tons and tons of Ravagers, tons and tons of everything. Team 2 needs to keep Team 1 at bay. What is going on with that bug? Very weird. It's not firing. Teleporter has been almost done for Masmori. And artillery, of course, 2 of them are still online. 1 of them has been knocked out. Colossus is going down. Large bank of Ravagers opening up. Those hit points are just being deleted. And looks like it's going to be a full run onto the artillery at this point. SMD could also be a target as well. I don't think Team 1 has a nuke somewhere. There's still 1, 2, 3, 4 Fat Boys. And Clinch is defeated by Kinder's satellites. And now we see the bug is opening fire. Weird. It is now a 1-player game for Team 1. ASF coming in from Clinch. And that will stop the aggression for a tiny smidgen of time. Colossus is down. Shields are starting to fall, though, from the Fat Boy pressure. Cracking game says, yeah, it just like the last 4 minutes have been most of the action. Somebody was complaining it was a boring game. It's not a boring game no more. Stop telling, says Luker. And I would have to agree with them. I don't know if Team 1 now has enough firepower to punch through. Team 2 spammed up a lot of defenses. Fat Boy goes down. The Crabs are actually pushing the Fat Boys back a little bit, so it buys them time to build artillery. Lovely play there. Push now, last chance. And I wouldn't say last chance. The artillery's raining in. The bug has been taken out. Yeah, I don't know why it wasn't shooting at Clinch for some reason. And the teleporter has been built on Mori's comm. He's going to just send it immediately and teleport over to here and then over to here. I just don't know if he has the power to really... Oh, he does. Okay, he has plenty of power. And Team 2's Kinder is just holding down the fort. Crab sends in Billy Nuke inbound from Kinder, actually. That won't kill the Fat Boy because the Fat Boy will be... Oh, no. Will it even get out of range? No, just barely. It did take a little bit of damage. There's still a lot of forces here, but I don't think they're going to crack the PD wall and artillery wall that's now being built. Another Crab off the assembly line from away she goes, and it's a 2-1 game at this point. And it does look like he was able to teleport away just barely, but again, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Epic, yep, it's definitely an epic Luker. I mean, it is the last stand to end last stands. Well, maybe not that, but still, I mean, it's a lot of aggression. Red use scout, says Eric. You got to find the comms. It has to turn into an assassination game at this point. It's not going to be an annihilation game. Crab just trying to do what he can. He's going to go after that Fat Boy. That Fat Boy will most likely die if the Crab changes its cannons. Nope, that's going to die anyways. Never mind. There's still 2 Fat Boys online. More of them coming online all the time. Inbound from Mori. Finish artillery, says Eric. Oh, finish the T2 artillery he's talking about. Billy Nuke inbound, and I think at this point, don't know if Team 1 has enough. And there goes that. Kills off a couple of forces as well. Doesn't kill off the Billy Nuke, but the Fat Boy. Boom. Another Fat Boy's down. Yeah, that's a lot of steam from Team 1 essentially gone at this point. Masmor is over here. He's just slowly inching his way around the map, trying to just stay out of sight from Team 2. But I just don't. There's some crab pooping going on. Don't know why this one isn't firing. There he goes. And at this point, I don't think Team 1 has enough. There's 2 more Fat Boys here, but they're, a couple of minutes out. Ravagers just constantly being spammed up. Fat Boy being targeted. That's the last one here. But look, half of Team 2's side of the map is gone due to that huge combined push. Looks like the artillery is taking out SMDs at this point. SACU is going offline. Looks like the comm has been spotted by Team 2. It's only going to be a matter of time. Comm's now over here. Looks like that crab is still alive. It's going to go for the comm. The comm's going to teleport out of there. Going to go over here now. Drop bombers will help assist with dealing with that crab, but there's a lot of flak inbound. They are bangers, so they can target ground units. Not great, but they can target them at least. And we do see some satellites inbound. Looks like the comm's back over here again. It's just teleport, 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 shoot power, says Eric. Take out the power. He can't teleport anywhere. Looks like he's just going right here. He dies before he can get there. Team 2 wins the game. That was a close game at the end. MVP for me. Ooh. Honestly, I'm torn between Wei She Goes and Kinder. Just, well, A, because they're the last surviving players on Team 2, but also because there was a lot of assistance between these two, especially Wei She Goes to Kinder helping out with, covering for shields and building all the crabs, while Kinder built the Fat Boys and all the PD. So there was a lot of cooperation going down between these two. And then, of course, once Wei She Goes got control of the western side, was able to push back a little bit more against Luca and everybody else. Wish to see maybe the laser a little bit more, but at least she had it at a minimum. But I think overall, I think Kinder gets it just a little bit more. Got satellites. I mean, I don't want to give it to the player that just built artillery, but sometimes artillery is what wins the game. It isn't really the thing that won the game for Team 2. It definitely helped. It took out an air grid. It took out, especially the satellites, took out, other bases and whatnot. That nuke, though, from Bali killing off one player and then the satellites killing off the other one, that really set the we got to kill everybody on Team 2 kind of thing from Team 1. It really set everything in motion from there. Of course, the attack on the east kind of helped that as well. But at the end of the day, like I said, I think Kinder gets it just a little bit more than Wei She Goes. But I did love the support from Wei She Goes as well, so that's why it's kind of a hard toss-up. Anyway, let me know down in the comments who you would pick for MVP. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see all of you in the next one.